Sean, Dak had interesting comments this week. The setting of the comments was kind of funny. I always laugh when athletes give quotes like this that end up creating headlines when they're at like fundraisers. He was at a children's cancer fund event, and they were asking him a lot of like digging questions. I want to know what reporters were like, we need to get to the facts at this cancer fund for children. We need to hear from Dak Prescott. Who's going there to cover it this way? I'd be pissed off if I was Dak.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be a little bit pissed off. But the comments that he had that we're, of course, going to react to. I feel like we compete with the Eagles and we beat them for the most part when we play them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the Lombardi trophy right now. Credit to them. They earned it and they deserve it by all means. To see them do it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn. It's on us. He's not directly saying that they're really close, but he's basically trying to say, like, hey, we could beat him if we wanted to. I don't know how Dak could say that. Their lack of success was not just because of his injury. They stunk at the beginning of the year.
Real bad.
Ryan Schottenheimer's not getting you over the hump to suddenly now go on this long stride to compete with the Eagles. You also got to deal with the Commanders, who look phenomenal at the current moment. There's no way to believe, and I know that this is the typical offseason speak of reacting to a offhanded comment from a quarterback, but there's no reason that anyone should believe that the Cowboys are anywhere close to the Philadelphia Eagles.
They're not. I'm going to poke a hole in this because now that I have new context, I did not know he was at a children's cancer fund event. I mean, this quote has now changed for me to arrogant negligence to optimism is all around me. And that's what I'm pushing out because I don't think if you ask the same question to Dak Prescott,
he's kind of trying to get
after he got injured, he would probably say, yeah. When he was on the sidelines in Atlanta getting quoted saying, we effing suck. That's what he really thinks. But he's trying to be a beacon, somebody that instills hope, a role model. He's surrounded by a bunch of kids with cancer. He's not going to come out here and say we're bashing the team. If the Cowboys have a chance, you have a chance. So I get why he said this statement.
That's an interesting way to frame it.
They are nowhere close to Philly, though. They are not even in the same ballpark. At times this past year, it looked like they were playing different sports, where Philly knew what football was, as annoying as their coach is. Whereas on the flip side, Dallas, supreme athletes all over the place, looks like they're trying to play pickleball with a football. It was just very confusing. It starts from the top down with Dallas. It always will, and that is the burden that Jerry Jones has brought onto himself. We're not picking on Jerry. We love him as an actor. We love him as an NFL character. But when we come to roster construction, the Jones family has dropped the ball year after year, I'd say since drafting CeeDee Lamb. That was the last home run. Since drafting Micah. That was the last home run that they hit as a team.
Yeah, they've been awful at... Was Tyler Smith after Micah?
Tyler Smith was, but I'm giving them, I'm not adding that because they historically draft so great on the offensive line. I have that almost as a prerequisite. That's what they're going to do for eternity.
Right. Again, I don't want to be like overly critical to Dak on this because, again, he was at a fundraiser and he was trying to promote an event. And you have to answer these questions sometimes when you're trying to get recognition for the event and for people to come to it and for the media to cover it. But it's really, it's one of the stupidest parts about the offseason that there are settings like this created. I kind of roll my eyes at reporters who think that this is the opportunity for them
I'm going to get the jump. I'm going to get the offseason beat. No.
I'm going to get the big scoop. The direct comments, though, it couldn't be more obvious that there is a very wide margin. The Cowboys are closer to what the Giants are right now than they are to the Eagles.
Yes.
They are a roster that is devoid of playmakers, devoid of premier offensive linemen, and devoid of dominant defensive athletes. Just what Philly did this year of being loaded front to back with explosive dudes all over their team, they don't even have the depth that a team like this, like the Eagles have. They're so far off. I don't think that there really is a future in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years that they even get to the Super Bowl. I really do not think, with the way that the roster construction has been approached, the hiring of head coaches, Schottenheimer's not going to get you there. To believe that they're even touching what Philly did this season and what they're going to be able to do over the next 5, because they just keep drafting so well. And again, they have young quality depth at certain positions that just keeps getting better and better. it's going to take over a decade to actually get in the same position that Philly is.
They have to get in the long haul. And while Dak may have been optimistic, Micah not as optimistic. He is itching to get going. He said this week, I don't want to sit back and watch other teams build and us stay the same. I want to see us become aggressive and get some players that will make an impact, as you should. Fair comments. I'm ready to pick apart Micah Parsons for having a podcast and that being a distraction and all that whenever I can. That's fair for Micah Parsons. He's a all-pro type player. You should expect more from your team, especially because it's America's team. Who was their number 2 wide receiver this year, Joe? Because at times it was no dig here. SEMO's very own Ryan Flournoy. Like that.
Hey,
big ups.
Flournoy.
I've heard it be pronounced like since the combine as Flournoy. I always thought it was Flournoy.
He was a good FCS player.
Very good, and I think he can stay in the league. That's great. Who is their second option on the offense? Was it Rico Dowdle? And secondly, on Rico Dowdle, is he the running back? Your running back one next year?
Probably. But so this is the problem: is they don't have a good second receiver. They don't have a good running back. And outside of Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton showed some positive signs. But Zach Martin's, talk about a car with the wheels falling off. Yeah. It's time to replace him and for him to retire or whatnot. But he isn't. No, he's still playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was banged up this year. There is so many position groups that need to be addressed.
Where's the tight end? Where's the great Dallas tight end? Oh, we're just going to hey, Dalton Schultz, you just had a career year. We're going to send you to the Texans and let you go there. You know who we got coming in? Quirked up Jake Ferguson, who I think is dating a Cavender.
He is the other Cavender twin.
Is that what we want? We want Jake Ferguson.
He's got a crispy beard fade, though.
Luke Schoonmaker and Brevin Spanford were the other tight ends.
Spanford's fine. He's big as shit.
He's not the Dallas tight end that we've known to come and love. He's not Schultz.
Big as shit.
He's not Witten. He's not somebody that could come in and actually be that Cowboys tight end that can go vertically 10 yards, turn around, and catch a first down.
You know what would be an interesting pick for them in the draft is if they took Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren would be an interesting pick. That would solve some things. They get a little bit of offensive juice.
Tyler Warren would become a league villain on that team because he would take over. He would have juice, but he'd be on the Cowboys. And I think he's got a little bit of flair and a little bit of feel for the eccentric. He likes to flex his muscles.
He's got the long, greasy hair. Forget
greasy hair.
Ferguson, who's too busy getting everything all faded out and crisped up. Yeah. I want long, greasy hair tight end. That's what if my tight end, and this is why Travis Kelce's gotten worse. You see him every single time on the sideline. He just looks like he got his beard trimmed right before the game. He got a new haircut before every single game.
Yeah.
No. Back when he was just a big oaf was when he was great. I want big oaf, greasy hair. I want to be able to smell him through the TV. That's what I want in my tight ends. I want to question if he's got a drinking problem or not. All of those things are important for good tight ends.
Who's the Iowa tight end this year that's coming out? They always have one.
They don't have one this year.
What?
They don't have one this year. That not that I can recall.
Do we have a Stanford tight end coming out this year?
There are no Stanford tight ends. Wait. Let me pull up my.
Those are my two tight end U's.
Well, you don't need to go to Mitchell Evans. You could get Notre Dame tight end U. Although a little too studious. I'll put your hand down. Put your hand down, dickhead.
Waiting to see Mayer do something.
Mayer hasn't done anything. Maybe you could trade for him. Gunnar Helm actually could kind of fit that, but I'm trying to think of like who. Oh, Luke Leachy's actually in this class. I completely forgot.